on a regular basis to Liberty Online TV.
Mina Francis Ben Kaifala, the Commissioner of the Anti-Corruption Commission of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Liberty TV Online, an amazing platform. See you at the top, Liberty TV. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up.
CDI at Tunis, the National Publicity Secretary, All People's Congress, APC. Are they always on Liberty TV? I encourage we all for continue for watch Liberty TV on all social media platforms.
John Coker, the Executive Director for Family Talk International. Kudos to Liberty Online TV. I believe it's a very good initiative, and we as Sierra Leoneans will support any Sierra Leone initiative where they move the country forward.
Viewers, I want to recommend to everybody Liberty Online TV. So if you're not begin watching it, now for join, sign up, begin go on a regular basis to Liberty Online TV.
Me na Yusuf Keketo Masadi, Deputy Minister of Information and Civic Education. The Liberty Online TV na a fantastic project. So I'm for tell all the one them we don't support, we don't fund this project, the Liberty Online TV, plenty thank you. And we as a government will continue for make sure say we create the enabling environments and the media for make sure say everybody when a professional then get a space for make them voice go be heard.
Na Sylvanus Blake, and me na the Public Relations Officer na the Anti-Corruption Commission Sierra Leone. I want for encourage you all for the follow Liberty TV Online. Before you did any like you through WhatsApp audio versions of people where you not see and know, why you not go watch online live and see who that they talk, and then you can know say, oh now this person say this. And here I believe whatever you see is the truth, and that the truth will set this nation free. I love this place and I always want to be here.
Badnya Fantasy is here, and I didn't also today na Liberty Online TV. That's a brand new TV, and they are doing extremely well. And I know me, anything that is run by like women and everything, I'm in for it, I'm supporting it. So make sure you follow Liberty Online TV on all social media platforms. So it's Fantasy is here, I'm here, so you should be here too.
Hello viewers, me na Manti Sumamara, the CEO of Suma Design and Empowerment Initiative. This na Liberty Online TV. I want to tell you for say this is now one of the best TV, online TV in a salon, where the young professional women then come together and for can give me this platform here. No sit down, continue for the watch Liberty TV every day.
This is Liberty Online TV powered by Orange Sierra Leone. Orange.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to another edition of the Breakfast Show, where they come to you live from Liberty Online TV, na Facebook, YouTube, and also na we website powered by Orange Sierra Leone. We will bring the program come to you this morning. My name na Khadija Bangura.
And me na Mabel Kaba. Good morning. Today na Tuesday, January 16th, and inside this edition of the Breakfast Show, we theme na politics with a special focus on governance and the rule of law.
Well, for help we talk about this theme this morning, we na politics and with a focus on governance and the rule of law. We get different people that we go join in at the program this morning. We go look at them from a political party angle, and also we get two political commentators them we go join with at the studio. from the All People's Congress, we dey expect the National Publicity Secretary, when I CDI at Tunis, and also from the Salon People's Party, when the party where they in governance now. We dey expect the National Publicity Secretary as well, when Lahai Lawrence Lima for joining the program this morning. And also from the UK, we get Farouk Abdul Karim Sisse, when a writer, a poet, a legal advisor, and also a political commentator. They all go join me in the studio this morning, and you where they watch we as well get opportunity for also they part of the program this morning. Send we message, send we your thoughts on the topic who they can discuss this morning via the comment section at any of the platform them where you they watch we this morning. And we they start the program as I tell una earlier, we get on the line Farouk Abdul Karim Sisse, we based in the United Kingdom, and in a writer, a poet, a legal advisor, and also a political commentator. Good morning, Farouk, and welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, Khadija. Thank you for hosting me. It's a privilege. Good morning.
All right, just like how I don't tell you via them, today we take a critical look on Salon political landscape, but we try for narrow the conversation to good governance and the rule of law. Let we start with governance, when a broad aspect where you talk about a proper functioning of the state. You don't be a political commentator, you don't follow with a keen look in the latest governance development them of Salon. From a commentator point of view, how you can assess governance during the rule of the Salon People's Party?
Thank you once more. It's a loaded question, but for starters, I believe the governance in this particular perspective for today, it's one that is, you can say, it's fitted with pros and cons. The SLPP, Salon People's Party, they try to handle governance. They thought it was from a fresh perspective, with a new direction, trajectory. But they've let people down. They haven't lived up to scratch. They haven't done the whole 9 yards and saying, what is governance? Governance to us is not just being at the helm of leadership. It's about steering the statecraft in the direction that would bring pride, that would bring progress, that would bring less resentment and malcontent within not just the administration, but for the broader public that voted for you, or those who didn't vote for you, or for the nation as a whole. That is what good governance should be. But looking at the, who can say, the history, the record of the SLPP within these 6.5 years, they have not lived up to scratch. There is not a lot to write home about. A lot has dampened their few gainful strides. Khadija.
All right, Farouk, continue for the with we na the program. We don't get we other guests. We also don't join we in a Cyril Django. We also na a political analyst. Good morning, Mr. Django, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. Django, and welcome to the Breakfast Show. All right, like we said, today the theme we will look at now this edition of the Breakfast Show, now politics with special focus on governance and the rule of law. And on the line, we get Cyril Django, when our political and economic analyst. Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Show, Mr. Django. All right, we'll try to get Mr. Django on the line. We'll take short break and come back and talk to them.
All right, the program we still watch now, the Breakfast Show. It come to you live from the Liberty Online TV, na Facebook. Today, we dey look at politics and we dey focus on governance and the rule of law, and we dey look at some former political party.
This is Liberty Online TV, powered by Orange Sierra Leone. Orange. This is Liberty Online TV, powered by Orange Sierra Leone. Orange. This is Liberty Online TV, powered by Orange Sierra Leone. Orange. This is Liberty Online TV, powered by Orange Sierra Leone. Orange.
Welcome back. The program we still watch now, the Breakfast Show. It come to you live from the Liberty Online TV, Facebook, YouTube, and also we website. Today we dey look at politics, but they pay special focus on governance and the rule of law. We get the two main political party them, when at the APC and the SLPP representative from them. And at the studio this morning, I want to welcome the National Publicity Secretary for the All People's Congress, when I see the Yaya Tunis. Good morning, Mr. Tunis, and welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, Khadija. Thank you very much for getting me here.
All right, and earlier we been done get we other guest from the UK. We na a political commentator. We in name na Farouk Abdul Karim. Ebide between at the studio. They come back to you, Farouk. Earlier, I asked you for make you assessment about governance under the Salon People's Party when at the SLPP. You be start for make you assessment, and for you, you say then 6 years plus in office. Nothing no day for write home about. But when you look at the development plans them under the new direction project where they come na power with, the SLPP go and say they make major strides. As a political commentator, we don't they follow how then they implement projects them under that new direction manifesto where they can have power with the first 5 years. What thing go be you pointers them in terms of development success?
Khadija, thanks once again. Like I just say, I'll reiterate again. The balance sheet for the Mother Bio administration under the SLPP umbrella, the balance sheet is nothing to write home about. They did a few gainful strides and the grudgingly did them that. But looking at the whole picture, it's a dampened situation. The balance sheet not tell well for what we write home about. They've got a few things, but some of them are cosmetic. But the thing where they document, the thing where they really stay on their heels, it's one thing where they trickle down to the people, where that corrupt practices everywhere. Some is swept under the carpet, some out there glaringly. That don't eclipse, they don't shroud any other development where they don't do, because people are more worried about their bread and butter, and they think their bread and butter, when they know they get them, it goes down, it's been affected, it's been influenced, impacted by corruption when they go around, where with impunity or disdain, this present government, they take them with alacrity. And if they're not they scam or they're not they do them with alacrity for bringing them to book, the ordinary guys out there are able to build 20 schools, you build 300 rooms, hospital beds, you build whatever. It doesn't have to say. That them is just optics. They want waiting to really translate. That is what for them they call development. And for that is what they would relate to good governance.
So if you make mention of corruption as one of the challenge them where the general governance they get currently, now waiting and a miss for the fight against corruption.
Well, there is a litany of factors. One, we will say the present government lack the political will. They don't have the bone to fight corruption even from within. They're just focusing on the other side of the pond. They should know that corruption is so widespread that tell the people, show the people that this is what you're doing. In your own house, make sure you tell properly. But if you do this with a two-pronged approach, you get one side of justice, one side of whip the other side, and you get the way you go about young, it's not the right way. They've missed the plot. They've lost the plot. To tell the people that they've got the willpower, that they are ready and they are committed, or else the people's faith and hope and trust in them could go down the drain.
All right, we will come back to you. Just hold on the again. Let me go over to the other guest where they on the line. When I see Django, a political analyst. Good morning and welcome to the breakfast show, Mr. Django.
Good morning there.
Just don't listen from Farouk Abdul Karim Sise, where they talk about the current governance system and waiting at the thing and waiting the lacking. According to Ram, corruption are one of the major things and where he believes say the government of today not able for handle it. Let me hear it from you. Today we theme na politics with a special focus on governance and the rule of law. How you go describe the current state of governance, taking into consideration the issues them where they happen within the rule of law?
Well, governance in our own case is a democracy. We not still try to allow for unfold, because democracy itself is about the people being able to elect their leaders, and the leaders being able to freely and fairly discuss and make laws and carry out policies for and on behalf of the people. But what we're seeing with the politics and governance is that we don't mistake one major mission, the politics of governance, into a get wealth, into a means for get resources, into a means for become better off. So when you get a country where politics is the only means to accumulate wealth, that country is in for a disaster. Now, we don't have really a governance structure, a governance politics as it were. It is more of an avenue, an economic avenue for enrich ourselves. So what would they see? Would they see mass corruption? Would they see as CCFM, the issue of corruption is the key reason why there is tussle for political power, wherein you have those who have the main parties are determined to come to power anyhow and to retain power anyhow to accumulate their resources. Because look at it. Governance is about developing the country. It's about roads, power supply, water. All of these basic parameters, we are still struggling to even become basic achievers. So governance has become much more of accumulating wealth and resources at the expense of delivering the very basics, which are of course healthcare, housing, good roads, water supply. And these are the issues that we see for even not even make much concern about, you see. So that we get to really sit back and see, do we enter politics to accumulate wealth, or do we go there to help to develop the country? When we answer that, I think we are heading to some progress.
Miss, what make we result to the current state where you describe so right now?
Well, what we see, there's a test case now, a major test case we don't get an example of, which is that the clerk of parliament having his wife in government's payroll, where not they go work, but they earn salary. And there is always a due process for it. And we expect that the one we appoint him as the clerk should by now, in all moral facts, should by now don't already suspend them. Well, not sack them, but suspend them, since the ACC said then they investigate the whole issue. That man should basically be suspended until all investigations are completed. So it means a test case is there. If we are serious about governance and fighting corruption, we have a very good example now of taking the bull by the horn and ensuring that there are indeed due process in which, whether it's the Parliament committee, whether it's the presidency, to act. Yes, a civilized country or a country where they push on democracy. When you accuse a public official, you are accused of corruption, or you are even being investigated, or you even refunding to the stolen riches. That is grounds for you to be suspended until you investigate it. But however, if we do not see that happen, if we still see the man sitting there, then it tells you that governance in Sierra Leone is much more far away from being a realistic endeavor for the people of this country.
Really they far away from the reality. But if you listen to government officials, anytime they come face the public through the media, then they give you several pointers, them way for them, they feel say now one of the way forward than they do for maintain good governance na salon. How serious is government in terms of maintaining good governance?
Well, the level of I cannot really put my hand on it, because at the histories, governance in Sierra Leone has basically become a means for poor people to accumulate resources. That's the 0 point. That is the basis of politics in Sierra Leone. That is exactly how the government and those who want to become a government are perceiving government to be, which is that when we come into this place, we have to accumulate resources. And how do they do it? Right now in 2022, public debt was around 500 billion leons. That is the debt that governments they owe to local contractors and foreign people. 2023, that debt when have been 500 billion in 2022. Now gone to 2.2 trillion old leons, which they don't care. Government accumulate debts, seeing the actual impact of this debt accumulation on the ground, which is to provide the basics. So unless and until we begin to find ways and means for encourage the opportunists, the poor people, could have too many poor people in governance, only for discourage these poor people from entering governance. Unless we begin to control our debt accumulation, I think governance will still be between those who are in government and those who want to be in government anyhow, by any means necessary. And it's going to be a big mess up for we, the ordinary people.
In an economist and political analyst, if they make your own contribution to the theme, more they look at this morning politics, where they focus on governance and the rule of law. We come now in the studio as we get the National Publicity Secretary for the All People's Congress APC party, when the main opposition party now the country, and then safe now key player them will talk about governance. Mr. Tunis, you don't listen to waiting Farouk, we join we is still here with we on the line from the UK, and also waiting Mr. Django don't talk. I will still ask you the question from an opposition point of view, where una self the part of governance. Where we talk about governance, how you can assess the Salon People's Party, then tenure in governance in terms of maintaining good governance.
Thank you very much, Khadija. Good morning again. Glad for the air. Well, if you look at governance from waiting Django explained, in we own case, we get democratic system of governance. Also, of course, political parties, then they present their programs or manifesto to the people, and then through that, they get elected into offices. And of course, we own system of governance. Like I said, in a democracy, we get three arms. We get the executive, we headed by the president, and we get the judiciary, we headed by the chief justice, of course, and then we get the legislative, we are the parliament, we headed by the speaker of parliament. All of their individual bodies, then they suppose for they operate independently somehow. Even though, of course, the implementation of most of the governance systems really rest with the executive. Now, we look at the 6 years, I go say, of the SLPP governance. First, with the first 5 years, we side and present programs then to we. I mean, among them, then we get a flagship, with the education program, of course, free quality education, where we all don't come know now say a colossal failure as far as implementation is concerned. Yes, with the pronouncement, access to education increase, but that is just about it. There is nothing free about it. As trumpeted by the government, of course. In fact, as far as we know, education will become even more expensive under this government than under any previous administration. That is one aspect of it. Secondly, when you look at expenditure to education, before they come in, the previous administration we don't increase spending to education up to about 18 to 20% of GDP to education. Then come in, there is some, I think about 21% or so. But I be read some report from UNICEF. I think a 2019-2020 report on, free quality implementation of free quality education. The expenditure to education, over 90% of the expenditure to education go to like workshop, DSAs and all. Less than 10% go to the actual education expenditure in terms of teacher salaries, books and other education materials. So when you look at those things, you begin to ask yourself, what's in really this trumpet? And then when you look at good governance generally, you get fundamental things that also will involve. The democratic space, how involved opposition go there in terms of governance. You look at the provision of basic fundamental needs of the people. You look at electricity, you look at water supply, you look at the economy generally, the basic necessities of life, and then you look at opportunities generally created by government. When you look at all of them things, then first, the democratic space has been completely narrowed as far as opposition concerned. We will get very little involvement in governance. The opposition voice being almost unacceptable under the administration of the SLPP from 2018 to 2023 and even now. I would say almost critical opposition parties. They want we get critical views, for express. I go tell you, say almost every opposition leader somehow find himself in a court or in a CID or on a Paremba Road, you name it. The suppression of opposition voices also on mainstream media, gave way to now, the massive, intervention we'll see on social media. When now done, they become a problem for we as a nation. And then you look at also the economy. I mean, it is nothing to write home about. In 2018, we get a recovery in economy. We don't begin see indicators where they suggest growth as far as we economic indicators then concerned. But when you look at what's in the happen now, inflation, for example, stand at over 48%. That are the highest ever in the history of Sierra Leone. You look at, debt to GDP, we stand at over 75% now. That are the highest ever in the history of this country. You look at the wage bill, it don't quadruple, 4 times higher than the previous administration. That are the worst we don't see in the history of this country. You look at the wastages in terms of travels, a blatant, a bloated, that's the worst we don't see in the history of this country. And then you come to corruption. When one of the things that we don't see the administration, they brag about. They talk about transparency and accountability. Under this administration is the worst. I always don't say, when they come previously, between 2018 to 2021, you see the indicators, even in terms of the MCC, it been good. And I always be done, they tell the people of this country, say, their indicators, then they will not see now from the previous administration. When you look at within the APC government under President Kromadu, we introduced several measures that we, been good for tackle corruption. The pay no bribe campaign, for example, the prosecution of corruption offenses them in court without the approval of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, all around they help for, reduce the number of corruption cases that we'll see. But now we get a situation where we get corruption everywhere. We see issues of corruption around the office of the presidency, where they see issues of corruption around the judiciary, where they see issues of corruption in parliament, the recent one being the case of the clerk of parliament, and then the disheartening part of it is how we see, very little effort from the part of the Anti-Corruption Commission for go after corruption offenses where they happen now under the administration, but the focus of fighting corruption still there on with the previous administration. We don't come on our power over 6 years now or so. So we put all of these together. You see that we really not get much for say as far as good governance concerned under this administration in every aspect. You look at the international indicators for human rights, it only drop. Corruption perception index, it only drop. Even in terms of poverty, we don't get an increased rate of poverty in our country. Now, I always tell people, say, we don't get a situation now in a salon, outside we country, they become unaffordable for we. When you look at the bills for the basic necessities, all don't go up exponentially. You look at the cost of energy, waiting you they pay for light bill now, and waiting you they get in terms of the unit. When you put, for example, before, under the previous administration, if you put 200,000, you get over 100 units. Now, if you put 600,000, you get about 130 units. And that 130 units, they last you only about 5 to 7 days, depending on the appliances, the way they use and you use. So it tells you on energy alone, you're spending on average 600,000 to 800,000 a week, depending on the household and the appliances where you get. You come to, your data. Now we live in the digital world. I read the administration, they always talk about digital transformation. We live in a digital world, but cost of communication, it'll become unaffordable for we because the data don't become so expensive. Now, their students then, for example, been get a package on Orange where they pay about 15,000 for data for about a month. Now that is 52,000. So imagine a student in university or even high school who want for do a research, how you go able to afford 52,000 for pay for data?
So, see, all of them things here way you don't talk about. How as opposition don't they try for be inclusive when it come in terms of governance? Although you say the space narrow, the ruling government not give una yet the opportunity for contribute, but when again members of parliament them, how una do able take on the government as opposition? Let the public know some of the issues here we they talk about.
Khadija, when you follow parliamentary debates in the last 5 years, especially between 2018 to 2023, I always can tell people and say I go commend with members of parliament, we be the parliament at that time. Then go through some of the worst challenges we don't see in parliamentary system in this country in many, many years. I mean, now the first time I see parliamentarians, then they debate. You know, clearly when it comes to voting, you see say which side the voting supposed for go. Not today the speaker they announced the voting for go. When you see which side the nay they turn to A, the A they turn to nay. That was just one aspect of it. And also at least on 3 occasions at least we see which side, you know, we get a situation which side security officers then storm the well of parliament, beat parliamentarians there up, even where they enjoy immunity. We see we sit in parliaments repeatedly, got arrested and locked up in CIDs, you know, in police cells. You know, some of them, at least one, began for end up for loss in life few days or week after a release. We see with parliamentarians then go through all that. But as opposition, we not sit down. We always pushed and ensure say with voices they had, despite the challenges we will face. We see so many instances where they try for suppress with voices. We continue for still advocate on behalf of the people of this country. We continue for bring out the issues, and we continue for try for engage government for make we provide alternative in terms of implementing some of them programs that we then present to the people of this country. Some of them they will clearly from the onset we see say then go create problem for we try for talk, but they not listen. You take for example the airport terminal where then build Nalunge, where then they call a brand new airport. We already debate on that severally, Khadija. On many occasions I've been there on the media, sometimes even debating with the National Publicity Secretary of the SLPP and even the former Minister of Information. I warn them of the consequences where that terminal they go get on the travels in this country. And today we see the results. 60 to 70 passengers of this way will be the get in this country. We don't lost them to Guinea and Liberia because of the cost of travel out of we airport in Sierra Leone and into we airport in Sierra Leone due to the high rate of taxes and other expenditures that we will now get for incur simply because of that terminal day where then go build where then so much bloat the cost we involved for build that terminal day where then they call airport.
Continue for the way to the program. In case you just tune in, you dey listen to the breakfast show where they come to you live from Liberty Online TV, now Facebook, YouTube, and also now we website. In case you just join we, make sure say you share the program so that more people will join the conversation this morning. As the theme where they look at now politics, but they focus on governance and also the rule of law. We get 2 commentators them, the one economist and political commentator Cyril Djengo, and also we get Farouk Abdul Karim Sisse, and also a political commentator ide with we na the program this morning, and also we expect the Salon People's Party. All right, continue for the week to the program as they look at more issues them and they bring more people on board.
All right, we join the High Lawrence Lima now. We in the National Publicity Secretary, the National Publicity Secretary for the Sierra Leone People's Party (SLPP). Hello, Lima, and welcome to the breakfast show.
Yeah, thank thank you for asking. But I want to see a video because I don't join the link or give me another because she makes up another.
Alright, because we get technical issues there, now make we say let we use the audio version. But firstly, let we start. We don't get different commentator them, and also we get the National Publicity Secretary for the All People's Congress APC party with we in the studio. We they look at the political landscape, politics, but they focus on good governance and also the rule of law. The Salon People's Party now they in governance. What thing you feel say una don't do as a government for strengthening good governance in the country?
And it got to do with periodic elections, and it got to do with transparency. It got to do with every component of government actually operating independently, and the other one, they check the excesses of the others. We mean say the parliament actually they operate independently, and the executive, the judiciary as well. At times where you will get judicial review, and also you get parliament also calling on executive officers for also go explain certain things that will happen, where they should say at least the government believe in in separation of power and the rule of law for work. And also as a government, the government, well, I'm not really talking as a government, but as a party in power, in governance, we believe, say, the government don't actually open up itself to transparency and also allow fairness in the judicial process of this country. And these are all indicators we actually be able for judge for determine whether this government actually don't live up to good governance and accountability. In terms of human rights, I will tell you, say, very recently, Sierra Leone has been reaccredited to A status. We mean, say, Sierra Leone don't able to comply with all the human rights requirements in the country. We even make Sierra Leone don't get also membership or seats in the Human Rights Council, we then call NANDRI. This to tell you, say, Sierra Leone as a country and as a government believe in in respecting the rights of people there, and equally so with every individual. As a country, we practice democracy, and we rule of law now a very key component. Now, one and we also don't allow for make crimes the way individuals can commit, for make police investigate them with fairness, and where it necessary for charge, then charge in a court. And transparency in the court process, we all don't see. In cases even where, of course, opposition get concerns them with, we don't see where in the court don't dispense justice to them cases, and we opposition says herself become very satisfied. A case in point is the PR system, where the opposition will get serious issues with. We go to court, at least there was a fairness in that trial. We come with a satisfaction to the general public. This is how far the government is able to commit itself for make sure, say, the judicial process is independent, and that individuals be held responsible for their own individual actions, and that due process in the courts of trial, that the court don't dispense justice, that the judges don't apply the law fairly to individuals, and at the same time, we don't make sure, say, in a democracy like which we get, so we don't make sure, say, the rule of law for work, even when we get a very destructive opposition. We don't seem to be very constructive. We don't feel safe for being in opposition. It's about being destructive, incitement, provoke stability in the state. We are in the state not of the government well because they are not in governance. That these governments are not able to over-tolerate the excesses of a very vicious opposition, to the extent that 5 years tenure has been successfully concluded. We don't usher in the SLPP for a second tenure. And on the SLPP second tenure, as much as the SLPP continue for remain focused in the dispensation of the promises the government or the party make to the people of this country, yet we continue to get hiccups with the destructive approach of the opposition. But we want to say, in as much as the government has been so tolerant to the extent of where we get an opposition, we say they're not going to parliament because them feel say they win elections and that they have been denied their right to govern. And again, the government, knowing fully well that I have done my assignment very well to have been ushered in, decide for still open itself to a dialogue to a point of getting the opposition back in parliament. And today, in as much as challenges are there, but we are seeing the opposition members of parliament approaching issues of governance in a very constructive manner. And that kind of approach, we feel, say, opposition for posture itself. Not to focus on a radio talk, light talk, just like in the first tenure, the first term of the SLPP in office, wherein you get opposition members, they chair Bible, chair Quran, misbehave, put up a conduct will not befitting a honorable member. And when we talk of upholding the rule of law, now we all as a country agree, say, we get set of rules we define we conduct. And we are in any individual breaks or a day in breach of any of them rules, then we don't set say for guide the conduct. There is every need for bringing the police for make sure say we put the conduct or exercise of individuals in shape. And these are some of the things we saw.
All right.
In Parliament, we are in opposition members of Parliament, we are misbehaving, tearing Bibles, they are misconducting themselves. You got to bring in the law for ensure say law enforcement work. So what the government don't do in terms of good governance, we not going to see the MCC scorecard over the last 5-year period where Sierra Leone passed so many indicators which show say Sierra Leone they carry itself in a good governance fashion. Again, in our second inning, for like we able to achieve the tangible outcomes of successes in the MCC, we got a very destructive opposition again. Where the lobby say that money not for come to this country, where not for be a benefit to every Sierra Leoneans and to the progress of they make. As governments, they able to work very hard to bring in amenities, social amenities to the people of this country. We get destructive citizens. Then where they go, they destroy lights. They destroy facilities that way they don't put for provide light or energy supply for the people of the country. And there is no way you could measure development indicators if you not get certain things that within the work. If you not get energy in your country, it will be very difficult for make you get investors then for come invest. Government is making efforts for provide light for citizens, yet you get other destructive citizens that way they go for go abort that and unbog the progress with government they make. Government, as much as we they try for destructive, we are making progress for make sure say the country move on. We focus on the agenda of the priorities the government don't put out in this I want to can achieve for this country, and also try to manage the excesses and make sure say the system work. That is the judicial work, the executive work, the parliament work, and check each other's excesses for make sure say every citizen in right is observed under the law, and at the same time taxes are paid fairly, people will get them contract, enter into contract, and they are being protected by the law. So because when the rule of law in our country work, it make not only we rights can be protected, even the country will be safer and the country will be protected as well.
Alright, Lahai Lawrence Lima, continue for the between the program. We dey go now the UK. Also we get Farouk Abdul Karim Sisi, we na a political commentator. Hello Farouk and welcome back to the Breakfast Show.
Yes, Khadija, I've been listening to these two gladiators from both sides of the pond. Yeah, they come out with all guns blazing. But like I said, Tunis, as a spokesperson, what you would expect? He goes talk the classic textbook criticism. I go lay out thick and fast. Then what you would expect? He paints a glowing picture while the other will paint a glaring picture. But as an independent observer, although I'm APC for the record, as an independent observer, there are few things where I want to lay out there for you and for the general public. And if I was to predict, if people were to go to the polls today, SLP will lose fairly and squarely. Most of it will be at their threshold because of what we talk about poor governance, fighting corruption, where that is the elephant in the room. That's the cyclope with one eye where they're not able to tackle it. Now, Yaya Tunis, yes, he's got it smooth sailing. He can say everything, but if not, they've been in this same position today. They've been doing reversal of roles. There would be reversal of
I think if they're going to fear on if this person in comments then come very clear so that I can address the issue.
So Farouk, we they get you the break where they come in. We go end the call and try for call you back so that the other guests them where they on the line and save the audience studio go able to get you clearly and also we viewers them. Well, the program we still they watch now the breakfast show. They come to you live from Liberty Online TV, now Facebook, YouTube, and also now we website. We don't get Farouk again on the line. Earlier, you be they make you submission from waiting the National Publicity Secretary for the APC and that of the SLPP be don't make. And when you listen to Mr. Tunis, he say them as opposition not able to contribute to governance because the SLPP in governance narrow the space.
It's true, but even the APC party can go a long way for dirty the water, for muddy the water. Because if they for no say the duty, the role, the main responsibility when we sign a social contract with both parties, now constructive criticism from the opposition. And the opposition was not going around or about doing it in the way what they think say it was ethical, it was constructive, or it was right. And the Bill administration, in hands were tied, in a hand and been tied. And sometimes we not say desperate times, desperate measures. We they talk about say, hey, we need to communicate, we need to reach a middle ground. But the opposition was so uncompromising. We don't know waiting them be mass. We don't know who that them be rely on. We don't know who that them be the feel say then go help. Then forget say politics they make strange bedfellows. Today not for you, tomorrow not for me. But all these them they play to the gallery. It's about their supporters. And most of their supporters, Khadija, with all due respect, 70% of them supporters, they don't know waiting at the rudimentary of governance. All they think is about make the noise or waiting when a representative then tell una is the truth. Sometimes opposition or they tell them people are the truth. Then they talk for gain brownie points. Our layman has said things that touched my heart. He said a lot of things that I say we don't go a long way. The SLPP government don't go a long way for make huge strides where we for be proud of. It's true. But regardless of that, the Mother Bill government, they fail in people them. Because we assume say the more things change, the more they stay the same. They don't come to power now like what they say. Maybe they say 6.5. Pardon me. It's about 6 years now. We not see how then they fight. The main thing we get. Waiting will make we happy. We exhale. They know they do.
So Farouk, according to Lahai Loreslima, it described the APC opposition as a very disruptive opposition where embarked them throughout the 5 years.
Yes, I understand that. But sometimes you picking out yourself. If you make you picking outgrow in shoes, it go turn out intractable. You're not able to control them. Not make that toad flop like that bottle. You're not able to remove it. As you broke the glass. Mother, I told you before, as with my opening statement, I said, mother lack the political will and not get the bone in them. For put them people here in them place. For put people somebody in a place, you don't need for take a whip. You then need for see say you mean business. But they knew mother not be mean business, mother not be know what he did do. Mother was a bit confused, and as such, they said this is the time for coming and dirty the water. So if Lehman they say APC as an opposition not give them the time, the space, the opportunity for do what is right, you have yourself to blame. You have yourself to blame. When they talk about good governance, when they talk about economic governance, when they talk about political governance, and we know that these two, they're interwoven. You go interweave them. But first, seek ye the political kingdom first. All other things shall come unto thee. Mother will be known, say, oh, this is not a strong-willed man. He get disciplined. But we come and prove everything wrong. And the opposition then take opportunity of that. So if the frustration of the mother bill government through the voice and the statement of Lehman, they're not compelling to me, they're not convincing to me. They ought to do more than that. That is why we gave them the opportunity for say, una rule we.
All right, Farouk, continue for the with we na the program. The breakfast show they continue. Send we message, add your voice to the program through the comment section. Now, any of the platform them where you watch with the theme for this morning are politics, where they pay special focus on good governance and also the rule of law. We don't talk so much about governance. We go can look at the rule of law, how effective it on the work na salon, and what in governments don't they do for ensure say they strengthening the area of good governance. But as always, Liberty Online TV, we believe in inclusion, and anytime they do program like this, we can like for give the mic to the ordinary citizens, them let themselves add them voice na the program. Let we go now and listen to what the citizen and get for say concerning the topic what they look at this morning.
For bringing development, we go change the people in life. And government, they work hand in hand with the rule of law. Outside and they make sure say everybody go according to the law. This being term, concern don't they come out from the public say government they focus more on political issue and forget their responsibility to the people them. Them concern make Liberty Online TV go na different partner fit on and get people them view.
As government, if the citizens they do things them way they feel say not correct, we not right, we go bring chaos, we go bring panic, we go bring tension na the nation. I believe say the law for taking cause on them people then they. Yeah, we can dey on the political issue, but government for focus more on the needs of citizens, on waiting the people of Sierra Leone need. Me no say government's not go totally able for do 100% for citizens satisfaction, but at least what we need where now the priority of the citizen. If he met, then the government itself go no say he don't do something. So I believe say the government if we focus on the needs of the people and the security of the citizens in this country.
The foundation been only back in the 60s during the days of Shaka Stevens. Foundation day. Everybody don't forget about politics and try for build laws alone, because if you're not opposition, oppose constructively. If you say this way, this policy they do for the country, and until you know say this, you're not going to find for the country. Oppose them, people will sit for you.
It's a salon suite now for we all, not for one person. Yeah. So our let we forget about all waiting they go on so and let we put hand together and join hand for let we push salon go before. Because me and I think saying I know the whole hope because if you travel go another man country, come back, no place like home. So we get for put together and build salon.
Other question where the team been put to them people there. Now for no waiting then think was the political situation in the country.
Past 6 or let me say from past 10 years, between them two political parties, I think the last 5 years of the APC and the first 5 years of the current government, I believe say politics not get a positive role we don't play in the lives of the youth there. More the only thing when we feel they spark more negativity among the youth them, where the country 2025 if you na Southeastern and you know one for CSF and Northern and you know Northern and I say Southeastern. And this type of politics in this past 10 years, 5 of this, you know, that's moving back. The political situation is when you talk about politics in this country, two people when you watch until they have this very, very contained. Considering the fact that APC there, the past followers and of course the person past followers. So if then two they have five, it's not possible for me to use so the political situation was present test. For me, putting that things in that because right now I see like the party of surveillance here, power question that we have been staying at power for a long time. Since we live in a very peaceful country, nevertheless, of course, that tension between these two giants, we see the people still maintain the peace. And that I believe, more especially within that we see the rise of recently that ethnic messages is very bad for the development of this country. And for make any
All right, we continue with the program, The Breakfast Show, where they come to you live from Liberty Online TV, now Facebook, YouTube, and also now a website. As you tune in, make sure you share the program so that more people will join the conversation this morning.
All right, we continue and go back on the line as we go look at the other parts of the discussion this morning. We're at the rule of law, and we start with, again, Lahai Lawrence Lima from the Sierra Leone People's Party. Lahai Lawrence Lima, hello. All right, we still get Lahai Lawrence Lima on the line, and we want to look at the rule of law. We all know, say, currently different issues and the way don't they happen, where according to the law, now the law don't they take in cause. And as we look at governance and the rule of law this morning, we want to know how the Sierra Leone People's Party, where they in governance right now, how governance they go on smoothly when you take into consideration the different cases them where in a courts. Good morning again, Lahai Lawrence Lima. Start for tell viewers them as we look at the rule of law currently, how governance they continue right now, where we all know say participation in governance is very key, and we see most of the opposition, the All People's Congress, get most of the members them where then they attend to a court currently, where don't they affect them participation in governance. How the two they happen for the government currently, the rule of law and governance?
Yeah, before I come, I just address two issues that so-called independent viewer actually observed. In the first place, you talk about fighting corruption. At least much as I respect in view as a Sierra Leonean, I also want to make you also know, say there has been an accredited international institution. We also don't give a past records to this government in the fight against corruption. The rating of this government in fight against corruption don't become very increased. And where these are some of the indicators we're actually able to make the SLPP government perform well in the MCC. So that's one way for like able for no say no more. The issue about talking about this government not fighting correctly for able for no say, I don't discredit that point the way they try for make. And at the same time, in terms of talking, say President Bio lacked the political will for put the destructive nature of the opposition in checks. Well, every leadership gets a own style of leadership. And one of the indicators in this is how they look at democratic good governance, now tolerance of the opposition or tolerance of some excesses of citizens. So every leader gets a own style of leadership to the extent to which it tolerates the excesses of others. And we don't see, say, by tolerating the excesses of certain individuals or group or political groupings in the country, don't almost lead to instability in the country, and therefore the law seems for anyone now where they break the law. So in terms of talking about cases them within a court, I would really restrain not for talk about then cases then they because I not go one, in the process of discussing their issues, then they are dabble into the evidence. And the facts say, I don't even know the nature of cases in court. I want to restrain not to talk about them. The only thing I want to say about the application of the rule of law, in the first place, of course, we all know, say, the judges are very much independent in the application of the rule of law in this country. Then set of rules and they now in the bind we and make we live as a country. Now this live in harmony as a country. And therefore, if one individual member say, in order to live according to the rules them where we all don't put together, say these now a binding principles where we all need for observe. And you they in breach of that, definitely law enforcement will come or make sure say then charge you conduct, they investigate and charge you conduct where the evidences are available. And when you stand trial, there has to be transparency in the process of you standing trial, and at the same time, the law for treat you fairly, so that justice will be fairly dispensed to you. If the law find you guilty based on the evidence adduced before the court, then you go serve your sentence. If the law no find you guilty based on the evidence, then you work as a free man. And I think that leverage has been provided by this government to the judiciary. The judiciary don't really enjoy the independence it requires under this administration, and at the same time, we don't see how much checks and balances don't work under the principles of separation of power for make sure say every component of government enjoy the work where the constitution don't bestowed upon them for perform the role they're supposed to perform. So this is how far this we party don't support government for make sure say the rule of law a work in the country, because now one of the key conduits that where they make investors them feel confident for can invest their money in the country, we're going to make investors they enter into a fair contract deal, because the law is working and the law will work in the favor of anyone where they enter into any contractual relationship. Now the rule of law now in the make also every individual live up to the expectations where it required for like he observe the rights of other citizens and so protect the rights of other citizens. And over time, we don't see say because the rule of law the work now that makes Sierra Leone don't endure the challenging times that we don't get, and make sure say we believe in the legal systems of the country and allow the legal system for work. Even with
if you ask most people now, they go tell you say the time where the government they take for pursue cases in a court, then rather the government use them for focus on issues we get for do with example the cost of living and other things. Them waiting you go say to that.
Well, when you say government, there are components and departments and government. So that's why you have line ministries, departments, and agencies. So every component gets waiting it focus on. Do you take, for instance, cases in court get for do with the Ministry of Justice, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Now, then your responsibility that for pursue cases in court. Whereas the Economic Department or the Ministry of Finance, they actually look at waiting them will get for do for make sure say they look at the cost of living in the country, and also make sure say there are conducive environments for the livelihood of people. And at the same time, you got a component of the security where they make sure say there is a peace, law and order in the country. We will give every individual citizens the opportunity for go able for strive for waiting they go able to eat for the day. And that is all the beauty of government when then different components. And that is exactly what we have been seeing against the so many threats, challenges we don't face in the hands of the APC, threatening the country, the stability of the country, because of they are not conducting themselves right, and the issue of the application of the law or the law enforcement is coming into play, you threatening the citizens, and no conduct of every individual or an institution not for create fear in the minds of the citizens that whether they provide leadership for or whether they want to provide leadership for. So any individual or citizens or institution where they make sure say in your conduct they instill fear in the minds of people, then that kind of conduct they need for also be checkmate. The issue of whether somebody will get an opinion, say there is too much of focus in the pursuit of saving other than focusing on the livelihood of people. No, that is not right. But I also respect the opinion because that's how they feel about it. But I will tell you, not every individual will feel that way.
All right, Lahai
Every
Lawrence
government is
Lima.
working for make sure we achieve the totality of work of the government. We actually have the reason that make the Sierra Leoneans and vote the SLPP in for make sure we live up to the own part of the social contract we get to the people of this country.
All right, continue for the retreat.
As of now, the government will put priority now for achieve security for this country, and at the same time do that in a conducive atmosphere where rule of law will work, where law and order prevail, so that individual citizens can go try for make them able to sustain their livelihood.
All right, continue for the retreat at the program. Lahai Lawrence Lima, we will come back to you, and we bring in now. CD Yaya Tunis, when at the National Publicity Secretary for the All People's Congress APC. When they look now, the other question we get for do with the rule of law, the SLPP in governance, how they don't they work for ensure say the rule of law work effective and independently.
Well, thank you very much, Khadija. Let me also, before I go to that one day, just comment a little bit on what Farouk say. Clearly, I just want to take them to memory lane because it looked like there were two, both him and Lahai Lawrence Lima don't seem to forget which side they meet this country with the SLPP kind of power. I mean, let us look at the basics, the fundamentals, as far as, the basic amenities then concerned. We come in 2007, for example, when Freetown being considered one of the darkest cities in the world, where the energy provision at Freetown not be even reach 10 megawatts. Yeah, in the entire country not be even reach, 25 megawatts. We come in, restore electricity. The days of Kaba Tiger go away. We forget about Kaba Tiger completely. We get a situation which will be the relatively enjoy 24 hours electricity supply and will be affordable also. And we get a situation where even we get interruption, you go see a statement from the Minister of Energy them giving us reason why we don't get a break in the energy supply and how long it will take for let them restore energy. We saw that. I mean, it come to the economy. We get to a point which has been considered one of the fastest growing economy between 2011 to 2012 up to 2013. Even where we get Ebola, we quickly restore our economy back immediately after Ebola. We come to fuel, we were 6,000, a liter with our camera power, and they be say expensive. But today we are 30,000 a liter. We come to rice, we were 180 to 200,000 for 50 kg bag of rice. And until we say it's expensive. Today, where are we? We are 800, 900,000. In some instances, even 1 million for a bag of rice. So when you look at all of them indicators, then you look at inflation, you see completely say they don't put you down. Now even look at corruption. They're talking about MCC. The only government we don't in a power, we don't get money under MCC, now the APC government. The threshold they enjoy will get over $40 million for investing in energy. Not only under APC. All of this noise where they don't make about MCC, they're never able to get money. They just, they blame and blame. You spent 10 years blaming the APC where you did in opposition. You come into governance, you spent 5 years blaming the APC where you did in governance, where you're not able to implement your own, programs then. And you don't come back under a contested election result in your second term, even where the opposition still, they be constructive, they try for reach out, they try for help so that stability, peace, and development go down in this country, you still they blame the opposition. So it tells you clearly that the fact of the matter is now they know how, now day for this administration. And as opposition, we are always ready for stepping, for ensure say this country continue for stay on the track. We know that we are a government in waiting and will not want for take over a destructive country, a broken country. Now that make you see, say, throughout the 5 years of the first term, we maintain peace. Like Lawrence Liman, they talk about tolerance. No, the administration not been tolerant to opposition at all. We spent so many time try for reach out. There are instances where we even take letters, for try for, engage the government for see how we go, manage the situations in this country. All of the issues we raised, we been critical about, we were either ignored or they were bulldozed, forget them way. I will remind them countless times they talk about destructiveness. Countless times they sit on our TV and radio, they threaten opposition people. How many times they order the arrest of opposition figures then? We have been Deputy Minister of Internal Affairs. We saw all of that. And now you see a man talking. It tells you that the knowledge level not there about some of the issues they also they talk about. In this second term, we hope for see a different approach. An approach we say we go see real engagement we get for do with addressing the issues where they bother the people of this country, and we go ensure say we stay on the development track. Today we are talking about committees being set up for look at the electoral system. Now because clearly we saw what happened in the June 2024 elections, we say blatantly, we see what the Electoral Commission do in terms of the management of elections in this country. His Excellency the President himself in Parliament, he asked for electoral systems reform because himself sees a problem deal with the electoral system, and all of us do. And that is why we get them discussions they also. Now I come to the issue about the rule of law. Rule of law for be seen as applicable to everybody. It should not be selective. If somebody can make a statement, like for example, when they talk about hate speech every day, when the issue about suppression of opposition starts, I warned on mainstream media that when you close the space, you dey give way for voices we're not supposed to be heard for take over the space, and it will be very difficult for control, and that is where we are. If somebody go to map and make a statement, oh, this tribe not supposed to exist, you for wipe them all out. Tomorrow, the other person self grab, oh, this other tribe now they're responsible for this. The police left them. They no say na hate speech. They no say this get tendency for bring problem na this country. You ignore, you left them, you not make arrest, you not make invitation. But then when the National Secretary General of the APC put out press release in support or in solidarity with its members, you invite an CID for make statement. What does that tell you? Is that how you implement the rule of law? Is that how you ensure say rule of law prevail in a country? Absolutely not. You are being selective in implementing or in addressing issues we get for do with law and order. And at the same time, you are selecting in implementing justice. And when you don't get fair justice, of course, you don't get justice. You dey hamburg the fabric of a society we get for do with the justice system, we get for do with rule of law. Rule of law and justice, they intertwine. And the selective nature in which we see people that they deal with law and order in this country, now that make we as opposition always they say, sincerity is lacking. Even when it comes to engagement, Mabel, we have no problem engaging with the presidency, with the government in power at any time. But what we also not going to accept is, if we see, say, you just want for use we as a poster, if you want for example, go to some international conference, you get for call we go sit down, take pictures, present as if everything is okay, and after the conference, we go back to things as usual. No. We want sincerity in the engagement. And when we see sincerity, we also go engage sincerely. But where sincerity is lacking, we cannot be used as poster party. That is where the problem is. Let us see sincerity in how we do things, in our engagement, so that we go address the needs of the people of this country.
Now the studio, they come back to you. Let me just go quickly on the line again, talk to Farouk Abdul Karim Sise. We don't talk to him this morning. I guess you don't follow the discussion at the studio as well. Now we look at rule of law. From your angle, we don't talk to the politician, they don't give them view about rule of law so far. What do you make up of rule of law and governance, where we don't talk about earlier? How you go describe the rule of law, the work where they don't do so far under this administration?
Okay, thank you, Khadija. I don't listen to them. I mean, just a smile. They sound as very compelling, but they're not convincing. Because, like I said, rule of law, these are not just a beautiful ideal on paper. Practically, they are diametrically opposed to what we see on paper and what they run at the ground. The initial opening, like what I say, words like rule of law, governance, democracy, we leave that to the politician them. We want play up to the gallery. What do the people care about for their rule of law hold water? Now for see the reality being translated on the ground. The president, with all due respect, he didn't hit the ground running. He was a bit very, very, very wavering. And with that, the opposition exploit that. The rule of the law, technically, we know say nobody above the law. The law should be dispensed equitably and equally. It should be transparent. But for one, the pot, they call the kettle black. Yaya Tunis, with all due respect, they hit back at Lima or SLPP. I know he's having a field day, but both sides, they never did the right thing by the people. And if we concentrate on President Madabio in 5 years past and in President Tino, he's going to have a hard time because he didn't show himself as somebody who has the will to deal with these situations. Yaya Tunis say, oh, in their own time, the rule of law was smooth, things were happening. No, I beg to differ, they were not. But because of the power of social media platforms, a lot of things, they come out in a very amplified way. And somebody said, we go just get a phone, we get megabytes, he go say, now this then do. And in this kind of thing, now propaganda war, he who shouts loudest would always win. SLPP, they're too elitist. So this thing about rule of law, with all due respect, if we look at the balance sheet, SLPP, I will give them 60% when it comes to the rule of law. All these things about, for example, the social contract we get with APC, they say they go parliament, then defy the rule of law because your main responsibility, paramount concern, go out there, obey and complain. But you're not going to say they go and you want to let government move on smoothly. There's not going to be any smooth transition. It's going to be tough. SLPP under Madabio in government, what people care about is economic governance. How do you put food on their table? Every other thing, then they leave them to the selected few. Now, one be politicians. We are voters. Give us food. And every other thing would dovetail into that. So if Lima, they say, under we regime, this is wrong, or under una regime, this is tough, I can understand Lima. But we fail for realize, say, 7 days is a long time in politics. You don't know what is around the corner. The post-COVID-19, Ukraine war, globally, it affects everybody. But the SLPP don't know how to explain this thing for the ordinary man no say everything when they go on, the opposition, they use them to their own advantage for let them dirty the water. So if you ask me, my candid opinion, not as one of those two politicians where they get paid for whatever reason, if you ask me, they go down the road with a normal pedestrian voter, the rule of law for Madabio is better far off than during SAPC time. There's a litany of examples, but we don't have the time.
Yeah.
To my own responsibility that now they're two political gladiators. Now their own responsibility that I'm being fair. I'm being open, I'm being transparent. All I'm going to say, the balance sheet for Madabia in government is nothing to write home about. The scale not tip in their favor.
All right. Many thanks, Farouk. We join we in the program this morning and give we your own analysis where campaign good governance and the rule of law na salon. Plenty thank you. We join we in the program this morning. We continue with the breakfast show where they come to you live from the Liberty Online TV, na Facebook, YouTube, and also on our website. So they try to wrap up the program now quickly. Where they go over to Lahai Lawrence Liman. Hello, Liman, and welcome back to the breakfast show.
I'm still here.
All right. We dey wrap up now. Waiting now some of the things them where una as a party, the SLPP in governance, plan for do for ensure say una continue for strengthening good governance and the rule of law na salon quickly in 1 minute.
Well, one need to go summarize all the lives that those people put up as to legacy them with them. As if we are the world marks of their failure, we make the people and massively put them out, and that you cannot use those indices of failure for still saying I can't wait for Lekona feel so now bounce back to power. No. When the SLPP come to governance, we make sure say the APC failure, we opportunity for make sure say we correct them and we dispense good governance to the people of this country. And the good governance where we dispense to the people of this country, now usher the SLPP in for the second tenure. And APC knows say allowing SLPP for go ahead with the trajectory at which then they go. The success is the gain so then they make in political good governance. If they allow SLPP to go at this pace, it will be difficult for let you vote the SLPP out of power. So the best thing feel safe for do now for become destructive. Imagine SLPP not ever received any foreign money for do electricity. And there has been expansion of the city and also the country. Yet the government continue for energy supply to the people of this country on a sustainable basis. Say for them period and they were then going to do technical amendment or technical they're going to do technical adjustments for make sure say then get the system for work properly. In all of that, SLPP not able to provide sustainable energy to even new communities. So this is to tell you that in as much as SLPP work very hard and able to get the compact money against the backdrop of the destructive approach of the opposition, it will tell you the trajectory and the length, the pace at which the SLPP will take this country. And so we go continue for make sure say the indicators of democratic good governance, we continue for uphold them. We continue for fight against corruption, because when we fight against corruption, then we maintain a just and fair society. We're able to promote the livelihood of our citizens there. And at the same time, we go make sure say transparency in governance, we uphold them. At the same time, we go make sure say we continue for tolerate the excesses of the opposition, but not to that magnitude. We also go destabilize the country. And we believe, say, the leadership gets in own style as to how anyone for govern. And we will follow, that is the path which we will take. We go make sure, say, institutions that continue for being independent and transparent, especially the judiciary in the dispensation of justice. And then social amenities, the way people they need, we go make sure, say, as a party, we continue for support with government for provide then social system there for people.
Many thanks for you joining me this morning, Lahai Lawrence Lima, National Publicity Secretary for the Salon People's Party. And we'll wrap up with the National Publicity Secretary as well for the All People's Congress APC Party, when as CDA Tunis. As an opposition, waiting on an expectation also from the government as President Biode do in second and final term.
Thank you very much. I mean, we know what it takes for be successful in governance. Waiting Lahai Lawrence Lima, they refer to as the APC failures, now the SLPP success. Because if we provide energy, we make the roads, we improve the healthcare delivery, we improve water supply, we improve education, including school feeding. All of these you're not able to do, and then you refer to them as failure, then our success now and there for you. But I mean, now I can understand why in this second term would they see some form of sanity as far as engagement with government is concerned. Because as they see clearly the one that will probably be destructive, they remove them, them out of governance a little bit, and we hope that we will continue to foresee more of them extremists them out of governance system. We will allow for proper engagement, at every level, so that governance, opposition, we all go able to engage on things that we get for do with the development of this country, where we supposed for do constructive criticism. We should be allowed, and we should be allowed the space to do that. We say we need for provide alternatives. We'll go do that happily so. But at the same time, as an opposition party, we know responsibilities to our supporters and our membership. We know we roles as far as democratic governance is concerned. We will continue for function as an opposition party. We will not be coward into going silent in any way. But at the same time, we will always constructively engage government. You don't see it don't start already. Engagements at the highest level, they go on as far as different issues concerned.
Talk about engagement later na one-on-one program, but now we're in the program for today. Many thanks to all we don't join we, and also to we guest them we join with this morning. Also look at two broad topics that we get for do with governance and also the rule of law. Continue for watch all we programs them na Liberty Online TV. Continue for like and share with platform so that more people will join the Liberty family. Mina Khadija Bangura, they say have a good day.
And Mabel Kabade say goodbye.